If you've been following me for some time now, you know I've been extremely bullish on Bitcoin and Solana throughout this year. Some of you might find this odd, given there was such volatility in crypto and the stock market this summer. However, everything must be put into context. In the classic book, How I Made $2 Million in the Stock Market, Nicholas Darvas lays out this analogy. If a tempestuous beauty were to jump on a table and do a wild dance, no one would be particularly astonished. That is the sort of characteristic behavior people would come to expect from her. But if a dignified matron were to suddenly do the same, this would be unusual, and people would immediately say, there is something strange here. Something has happened. So when we look at Bitcoin and see it has fallen over 30% this summer, we must ask ourselves if this is normal behavior. Using Darvas's analogy, I think we would all agree that Bitcoin is much more similar to a tempestuous beauty dancing on a table than it is to a dignified matron. In fact, when we pull up some charts from the past, it is easy to see that Bitcoin is actually acting quite normal. Looking at 2016 and 2020, we can see that Bitcoin corrected in the months following the halvings. In the 2016 and 2020 cycles, Bitcoin used the time after the halvings to round out its base. In other words, the months after the halvings were a period of digestion that set the stage for strong parabolic runs. This is exactly what I think will happen again. I believe Bitcoin is set to go on an extremely powerful move in the coming months. What really fascinates me the most is no one seems to care. It's almost like everyone was so hyped up about Bitcoin around the halving, but they've all totally forgotten about it. There's so much focus on politics, macroeconomics, and sports, but very few people seem to notice what is taking place in crypto. This is where discipline comes in. You can't take your eye off the ball. You have to always be on guard and ready for what others may not see. If Bitcoin plays out like it did in previous cycles, a literal fortune can be made by those who know how to interpret its action. Solana has also been on my radar for quite some time. Like Bitcoin, it had an extremely volatile summer, falling over 43% in August. This type of action is not for the faint of heart, but again, it comes with the territory. Those who trade the S&P 500 or Dow 30 are unlikely to have any sort of experience with this type of action, but those who have traded crypto in prior cycles understand these types of declines are to be expected. While a 40% decline can be scary, when we look at a monthly chart, we can see that SOL still looks really good, and it's forming a very nice cup and handle base. Although it is not a perfect comparison, it somewhat reminds me of Ether in 2020 before it ran higher. I encourage all crypto traders to tune out the noise and to start listening to the charts, for they alone signal what's really taking place. And so far, it looks like something extremely bullish is just around the corner. Wrist right, sit tight.